are live. All right. Now, shall we all show our ugly faces at some point? Let's all follow Mr. Chufia's lead.
It's not
All
actually
right.
me, but it's the people that are watching. They say they want to see the people's faces.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. All right. I'll be on. I'll be on here in a few minutes. So I guess we should start our vuvuzelas. And should we say good afternoon to the world? Good morning, good evening, good whatever you are. And this is none other than moi, Kalinda Shichinda, here broadcasting out of the Hoosier state of Indiana, and the city, of course, is Indianapolis. It's what is this? August the 18th of 2024, and welcome to a small little podcast. You do your vuvuzelas, and of course we'll have the deep thinker, Lady Sarah, and of course the man who just joined us, Vakazia. In that order, please.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us and taking part in this podcast today in the afternoon. Of course, I'm broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada. I will welcome you to this podcast, Walala and Damaria in the concerning the motherland, and we will have arguments, we will have laughs, and we will agree and disagree to agree and agree to disagree. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and well, let's put the show right on the road.
Right, Lady Sarah, you're up next. I believe I could be wrong.
What are you talking about? Introduction?
Yes, we are on to the
Oh my goodness. First of all, I want to say to Rachanda, the mic wasn't very clear. If you can project your mic nicely.
Oh, yes, I did
My name is Sarah, and I go by Lady Sarah. That's big for me. I live in Seattle, Washington State, and I'm a human rights activist. I hold a certification in that one from DC, Washington DC. So yeah, I'm here to accompany these big, brains here, talk about what's happening in Zambia and how best we can help our people back home. Thank you.
great Valentine, the deep thinker.
I'm joining in from St. Louis, Missouri, in the Midwest of U.S.
And just like that, the deep thinker is done, and our beloved resident PS. Your introduction, please.
Thank you very much. I'm joining you from Fredericton in New Brunswick in Canada.
Oh, great. Now that we've done all the niceties, but maybe before we do that, let's also bring in our man here, who needs no further introduction, but he needs to introduce himself.
Let
Mr.
me introduce
Imani.
myself. Let me introduce myself.
Yes, that's what I'm just saying. Introduce yourself, Mr.
Himwami, Himwami Maja. Now, those names are I'm not a Mwami, no. It's just a name that I got from one of my uncles that went to live in the diaspora years back and never came back. So I was given that name, Himwami. Maybe I'm not the type. Then Maja simply means that time of the morning. Bachanda, Maja, that time of the morning, dawn, new dawn. We call it new dawn government. If you want, you can call it the master government. It's the same.
Don't go that fast, Robert.
All right. Okay, now that we have all the niceties out of the way, shall we go ahead and just delve into the topics? Well, there's no easy one to start today's topics. Then just go ahead and talk about a name that we just lost this past week. That is of former First Lady Maureen Mwanawasa. She's a renowned lawyer, of course. She a mother. And she just lost her husband several years ago, who was was that the fourth Republican president? No, the third Republican president. In the name of Levi Mwanawasa. So we just lost her this past week, and maybe before we actually say anything about about her, maybe we should observe at least a minute of silence in our honor.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah. Let's give her that minute, and then we'll start by talking about her after that.
Okay. Starting now.
All right. In a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
Can I sing just
add
a simple
just
song?
add something to her name. Add something to her name. Maureen Kakubo Mwanawasa. Don't forget that name, Kakubo.
Right.
But humor me.
Yes.
Maureen
Might be
Kakubo.
something else.
Can I just sing one verse, which is very short for to observe her? She was very instrumental in our our era when she was the first lady. I'll just sing Amazing Grace. Those who want to join, they can join. I'm so sorry that I'm off camera. I'm just I've just woken up.
That's okay.
The song is Amazing Grace, and it's
I
so.
need to see people's faces before you proceed.
When the you want, you can't see my face for now.
I will just show you.
We just deep thinker. Like I said, in respect.
You want,
I need to see her in camera.
Oh, okay, no problem. There I go.
Yes, deep thinker. Yes.
It's going to be brief.
Nice to see you, Achanda.
It's okay. Deep thinker.
It's going to be brief because I'm in between places.
In Canada? Is that you want to really?
There you go.
Look at Valentine.
Look at Valentine. Yeah.
My sister.
Yes. All right, good. Sarah, now you can go ahead and sing your song.
Yeah, you people, this song. It's just Amazing Grace. For me, I just feel like I need to honor this lady, and because she was our face, she made me proud as a woman. The way she dressed, the way she came out, the way she talked to the people, and her foundation. I think she did a great job as a first lady. So I'm going to honor with this song, Amazing Grace. Please excuse my voice. I haven't sang for a long time. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Thank you.
I should also mention one thing. The pastor who officiated at the funeral for the late president, Patrick Mwanawasa, has offered himself again to be the pastor at the funeral of the late Maureen Mwanawasa, Pastor Chanda. He's my relative. He's married to my cousin. They have said that's the best they can do for the Mwanawasas. Pastor Chanda from Baptist Church. Remember, Mwanawasa was a Jehovah's Witness. Then when he crossed over to being president, he was disfellowshipped because our colleagues do not subscribe to that kind of arrangement. So they were left by themselves, and a Baptist pastor, Chanda, welcomed them. And they were in the church even up to the time the president died. So he has offered himself to be the pastor in charge of the church service for the late former First Lady, Maureen Mwanawasa.
Brilliant.
I yield.
Absolutely amazing. So I'm not going to dictate who wants to speak first, because this is one of those moments where people just come out.
I suggest Deep Think I should start.
And just speak from their heart. So who wants to go first? There's a suggestion for Deep Thinker. I won't ask the reason why, but
Ragazia should also speak on this one. Yes, he must have some, ties
Yeah, he has.
in the
Yes.
government and that connection in the government. So
right.
yeah.
So maybe Deep Thinker, you want to go first because your name has been floated. Are your words ready?
With Mrs. Mwanawasa?
Yes.
I mean, Dr. Mwanawasa.
Yes.
All right. I have a lot of respect for that lady and her husband. We go way back with her when I was in Form 1 at St. Raphael's in Livingston. She was actually in Form 5. So those were our elders. We didn't know each other personally, but in later years, we met again in Johannesburg when Mwanawasa was admitted in the hospital in Johannesburg. They are really, really good people. They were really, really good people. They talked to people like human beings. They didn't, although they were among the elite, and that was before he became president. He had already been the vice president when we met in Johannesburg. So he just spoke like a common person and welcoming and have a conversation. So I really gained even more respect for Maureen and her husband at that point. So I hope her death is not going to be politicized, and she's not going to be mourned as Mrs. Mwanawasa, because she made her own mark in the Zambian politics, culture, and all social settings that we know her to have participated in. May her soul rest in peace. She will be greatly missed in Zambia. I yield.
Great.
Can I say something again?
Hold
Can
on.
I say something again?
No, hold
Okay.
your thought, Mr. Macker. Hold your thought. Let's go with Mr. Kazia. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a sad scenario, sad situation when you lose a person in that manner. I think she still had a lot of life in as far as I'm concerned. And she was a good person. You could see that she focused more in terms of improving the academia, improving the welfare of children, women, and was just a solid human rights activist as well. And I think she was a great administrator. But it's sad to see her go. it's just my condolences that I can offer to the family, and hope that we'll need to also refocus and look more at people after they've lost their husband, like she did with our third Republican president. Probably needed to do a little bit more for her to make sure that she was taken care of. But life being what it is, no one knows when one is to go.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Maja, you can come in now.
Yeah, really, no one knows when one is to go. Brings me back to memories when she was in Wapula, Northern Province, with the current vice president campaigning. And their plane was not allowed to land because some bush was burnt. She didn't die. You see, this God we worship is something else. Your death is not in a plane. It will come in another way. She has lived without seeing the final judgment passed on that arson case. May her soul rest in peace. Then the other thing we should also not forget is the former First Lady is related to the late Mapushi, First Home Affairs Minister in Manawasa's government. Those were brothers, brother, sister. So it's that family which is in pain. We need to really understand with them, to bear with them. What they are going through just now is too big. Their cup overflows with a lot of sadness. It's not easy for them to handle it because when they look back, who have they lost? A lot of big people that could have made a difference in their lives. It's also in the midst of her maybe having issues with a law firm, but well, that's for the family to resolve. But may her soul rest in peace. I yield.
Back to Rufia.
Yeah, it's a sad development. Very, 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 very sad development, especially that that she's a former first lady. She lost her husband. Uh, you know, and now she's gone just after a short ailment. And we'd like to of course spread our condolences to the Kakubo family, as well as the Manawasa family. It's a big blow. I mean, you lose two parents. I mean, it's really bad and sad for of course, the family. I mean, they've lost to both parents. Who knows what's going on in the heads of their children, and what's going to happen next? So we just pray to God. They stay focused, and they stay united as a family, and then let them be strong. That's all I can say, and may God may she rest in peace. I mean, that's all I can say.
Right on, right on. Lady Sarah.
Yeah, like I said earlier, for me, it's just a sad thing. If you look at even her age, she's young, to be just to go like that. Anyway, we all going to die, but no one is a genius when it comes to such moments when you lose someone, family member, a mother. And to us, she was a great first lady. Like I'm still saying, she put people to her heart. And even just the way she used to come out, we were proud as women of Zambia. She could, look, elegant, in front of the world. So for me, it's a loss. It's a big loss to the nation, and it's a big loss to her family. And we mourn with them. We pray to God to give them the comfort and also guide them the way they handle the funeral. We are so thankful to God that God gave us such a lady to be our first lady during the time that our lovely president, Mr. Patrick Mwanawasa, was the head of the country. So we are so grateful to the Lord, and we wish the family God's blessings and guidance, and may her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Uh, um, you know, I don't even know what to say right now. Just to say, I guess my condolences to the rest of the family, the nation. Yeah, like everybody just, I'm just gonna echo what everybody just said. Um, we lost a good one, and hopefully, she's resting in the bosoms of our Lord, and hoping that the family will, find a way, um, to step forward. Okay, I think that's it from me. Unless if somebody else has something to say, I think we should move on, because we do have a packed show today. I guess we should start by this one. Actually, maybe before I even go there, anybody else has something to say? Let not be don't accuse me of being a dictator. Anybody
Is the
ready
woman
else?
a
I think
dictator also?
everybody has said,
Yeah,
everybody I think what they
I
needed to
think
say
you
on that.
all have said your piece. Don't accuse me of
Yes.
being a deep thinker. Anyway, well. And Mr. Himwami and I can speak to this. So this week we saw Bali, cross-cutting the nation. He was in Mamba, and then he was in my father's backyard, so to speak, in Mumbwa. We saw him, commissioning a new mine. Worth about $400 million. It's going to be owned by some Chinese nationals. It's a copper mine. So, I know over these 3 years we've been hearing Bali's all words and no action. So finally we saw a brand new mine in Mumbai taking off the ground. And of course, I expect everyone else to say some nice things, except for Vakazia. We know why. But
Oh, they have started. In fact, for the new name,
Yeah.
policy,
yeah. So
for the
anyway,
mine.
Do you
yeah.
want me
So
to
right,
criticize
Bobby,
you or you want me to take a
before
comment?
you come in, so
Don't do
let's
Vakazia like that.
yeah, let's
Because
do
you see,
uh,
she's starting the fight deliberately.
I think
Policy, policy,
I think let me start with this one because
policy Kitumba,
no, no.
policy Kitumba mine.
Yeah.
Policy Kitumba mine.
Okay, okay. Hold that thought, Mr. Mwami. There you go, Chanda. You start. He wants you to call it Chishimba man. Go ahead.
Kitumba.
Oh,
no,
Jitumba. There you go.
Kitumba.
Yeah,
me
Jitumba.
when I read it, you were saying Kitumba,
Yeah.
Kitumba.
There you go.
Kitumba,
So
yes.
so Kitumba, what does Kitumba mean? First of all,
I don't know.
okay.
Oh,
So
it means a
Jitumba is
mine. It's a
pocket.
mine.
It's
but
supposed to be
but
something you hold. It's like a pocket, a
oh,
storage,
okay,
something like that. I think
okay.
that's what.
So in this case, we need to first of all, agree on one thing. One, at least we have some solid mining company that has invested heavily in that community. Other than, I mean, we've all known it's been a hidden secret that there's always been copper in the area. Everybody knows. I mean, in Mumbai, everybody knows that copper has always been there for years, but it always has been mined illegally for the past years. So now we have this new government and we got this new minister that's saying, look, we want to make sure that people are mining properly and they're mining legally. Okay? Instead of people just going, just back door, briefcase businessmen, they buy your copper at a very cheap price. I mean, they were just selling it for nothing really. If you look at what they were doing, and people took advantage of that for years, years and years and years. So we're saying like, look, let's legalize things. Let's put a strategy in place. And the strategy is now in place. And now we have a new mine that's going to open. It's going to employ people. And on top of that, they're going to invest in the community, meaning we're going to see roads being built, schools being built, hospitals being built. Because all these people, when the mine is open, they need where to live. They need where to go and get in case they are sick. Where do you go? You need a hospital. So all these things they will have that trickling effect in the community, and people start seeing the advantage of having a big conglomerate, a mine, that's going to be invested, other than just people, mining illegally, and we just ignore. So for me on that point, I say one, yes, it's a good move. Two, the government has scored, and of course, I mean, the Chinese, they want to be everywhere. I mean, of course, we know that China is one of the biggest economies in the world, and they obviously want that copper for their own electrical, manufacturing, plants in China, and how much. But the thing is this: we don't have to politicize this, because I've been hearing, the oppositions, they are always politicizing everything that's happening. Why don't we talk about the good things first? Okay, I yield.
All right, Mr. Amwami, because you and I are from the same area, maybe you want to bring this into context. What does it mean for our people, Mr. Amwami? He's cooking shima. He's not talking at all.
Network has been coming.
I'm here. I'm here now.
All
I'm here
right,
now.
Mr. Amwami, go ahead.
Listen. No, let me say something first.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited with the opening of that mine because bamtinta patano fya kushibuyunja kuna mpundwe muli pawenera
Mkwabo tulabwe.
te pali plant pali mwati mwa buildings. There's a building, there's a plant where they will smelt copper.
Oh yeah, I saw it in April. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that plant is supposed to use copper from a Mumbwa mine. I'm not sure which mine it is, but it's been not working for some time because they didn't have the actual samples. Why should it be purified at that place, Mumbwa, at Nampundwe? That's the only place which is closer to the power that can run a copper refinery. Mumbwa hasn't got that power to enable them run a copper refinery. So Nampundwe is the closest. So personally, I'm happy because I know it will have that spillover effect to Nampundwe community. Then we should also not just talk about copper. There's also gold in Mumbwa. There's gold in Mumbwa. There is also lead. Mumbwa has many minerals. So the start of that is good for Mumbwa. It's also going to diversify the Mumbwa economy, which of late has been very dependent on agriculture. And when you talk about agriculture, we don't own the range. Right? So now, for a change, Mumbwa will be a mining town. So at least those blues that people used to have over the bad rains, now there'll be at least some mining activity taking place. I yield.
Wakazia, maybe before you come in, Wakazia, we have a new entrant. Remnatim. I hope I pronounced your name correct. Please, just show us your visions. Let us know where you are joining this show from.
Oh.
And
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm Remnant Mwanahiva. I'm based in Michigan, USA.
Oh, great.
Nice.
We appreciate you
You're
joining
welcome.
the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear your views on the many trending topics out of the motherland. Anyway, we'll get back to you. We are talking about the new mine that just been launched in Mumbai. That we have on the floor, Mr. Beloved, is about to school us. Vakazia, come in.
Is it every I think I've said this before, every development that comes to Zambia is good if we manage it properly and making sure that we get the best out of our investment. Whoever comes in, they must know that this is for Zambians. That's the first important thing. But you also have to understand, if you are thinking that there will be no politics around, it will not work. The politics in Zambia goes with everything. A person will be drinking a glass of water in a cup. It becomes an issue. Where is a glass water bottle? Where is what? Why is he drink? Why is he using a cup to drink? Why can't he use his hands? It becomes political. So when good things have come, I don't think it will be good for the current government to focus on what other people are saying. They will criticize them anyway, whether they do it now or they do it later. It is part of what has shaped our Zambian politics, because even the current government, they were criticizing everything about PF. And if you make a road here, they'll say, oh, that's a good road, but it's very expensive. Why did you make it? Oh, why have you made the road this way and not the other way? It's part of their politics. Yeah. So, but coming to the investment itself, I think it's a good process. It must just be monitored closely and see that who are the people that I don't have a lot of details about it because I don't know who the owners are. I don't know the share value, the share. If any Zambian has shares in it, it's the same way it has shares in it, so that you know that okay, probably we have a part of the profits that will be remaining in our country, other than just purposes of taxes and maybe those one-off infrastructure development that come. So that is what I can see. But the gesture is good. The development is good. The mine is good in Nampundo. I inspected Nampundo mine. I've been there. I know where that mine is situated, but I just don't know who the owners are and how the economic value of it to the Zambians in as far as shareholding is concerned. But I think it's a good gesture and a good investment that we must be proud of.
Great. Perfect. Uh, Deep Thinker, your comment.
So, so I saw a news feed on my phone, a young man complaining that if you call people for interviews, let's say in Chipata, just be mindful that some people travel from like Livingston, they borrow money to go to Chipata for an interview. Now, the way I'm connecting this to the mines is that it's a good thing that the mines, we're opening investments in Zambia. Uh, I don't care who is a shareholder, as long as they do right by the Zambian people, not by the ones that signed the paperwork, but by the Zambian people. But if they're going to interview people for jobs, please, please, if corruption is involved, be mindful that some people spend their last trying to go and get a job, which is already given to somebody else. So I hope the mines are not going to have that level of corruption, and I hope the value will be seen by Zambians soon. Because I don't know if Zambians are in a state where they can wait for 10 years to see, the proceeds of the mines. Please let Zambians, common Zambians, benefit from these investments. It's a good thing what the UPND government is doing. But I have a question for Lagazia, and the chair is going to protect you. Lagazia, what noise is coming from the opposition in opposition of the mines that are opening?
I've not heard. I heard what and I say the opposition will be making noise. So I was just saying whatever noise may come, it is part of our political system. That is what I meant when I said that if there is noise that to come, it is because our political system has been dotted with that for many years. We do not have a political system in Zambia that supports the incumbents of the government when they do right. When they do right, people keep quiet. When they do wrong, then people speak. And they have to find everything that has to be said on something. And until and when we change that kind of mindset, then we can see that we will be able to go in one direction as far as politics are concerned, where it involves development. But for now, that's the state of affairs that I've seen our country be in. But I'll take also a quick advantage to speak to the issue that you've raised about the jobs. You see, one of the things that I've realized in Zambia, there is this thinking which is totally against the employment code number 3 of 2019, where people, when there is a job, where there is an investment in an area, then politicians, jump on the podium and say, you should employ people from this area, or you should only be employing people from this area. That should never be the case, because in our current law, discrimination is not allowed. You can't employ any person because of the area. You can only employ qualified Zambians. So whether they come from there, whether they come from wherever place, if they are qualified and they are Zambians, should be employed. There's been quite a talk around that aspect of saying, our children don't have jobs. Now, the employment code has provided for certain things that should incentivize the employer from employing within. What does that as? Number one, there is a limit of 3 kilometers radius for transport allowance not to be paid. If people live within 3 kilometers of the radius of the workplace, the transport allowance is not paid, which means it's trying to localize the people that are there through that kind of system. And if they provide housing, they don't pay housing allowance. So I see that some of those comments that I hear politicians say are very negative in terms of us as Zambians looking at after Zambians and not just after where the investment is. Thank you.
Wow, what sobering comments from Bakazia there. For the first time in my life, I'm
I
agreeing
always
with
say the thing
him.
that way.
Madam Chair, please
Yes,
leave Lakazi alone.
no, I'm just saying for the first time ever.
And then Lakazi, I asked that question because of the opening remarks from our Madam Chair. She said the UPND are happy, the other side they are not. That's why I asked. Are you?
No.
I think the chair was just trying politics as well. It wasn't
Well,
anything that anyone is sad about investment.
I think in my thinking, this is how we think. You know, all the time we see the opposition coming. Like I was just watching a press conference here about Ukwa, you know, and they were just against everything. I mean, there's nothing that it was maybe over 2 hours or something like that. I'm like, what are you providing as a solution for the current situation? It was just all about attacking the government, that. I'm like, oh, Monday. We have a bunch of politicians who are supposed to be intellect and supposed to be, of course, well read and knowledgeable.
Can I ask you one question, Wata? One question.
Yeah, landed.
One question. One question that I have, and this is where at times we draw lines and start going to politics. Tell me one thing that the UPND government has gone on the podium and praised Patriotic Front for.
Oh, one thing? Of course, you
one thing. That one thing. Yeah, but I mean on the podium, not the way we are conversating.
No, it's been on the podium.
I have not. Listen.
You built roads. but expensive roads.
Yeah, but you see,
Okay,
the
you built a road.
listen, the connotation, and this is where we start to differ and we start to attack each other, is where we say, oh, this is good or bad. Like, for instance, I'm saying that UPND got CDF, which is a very good program for all the councils. Then I say, oh, but people have stolen. So it starts now to give a negative connotation on the
No,
positive
okay,
thing. So this
okay,
is what I'm
but
saying. That when something has been done right in the
uh-huh.
country, in our country, we must continue on the positive part. The problem is that the moment you say bad and go in the negative, then the other side must defend itself and defend what we've done.
No,
And this is
no.
where we all start to go back into us. Oh, you said this is bad, also this. Then again, we focus on the negative. And these negatives, I'm telling you, colleagues, they will never take us anywhere. It is where it was an expensive road. Why was it expensive? It might be, was it all corruption? If there were elements at all, have someone gone to actually see critically what elements were there before that? For instance, I give an example to say, our industrial base of just getting the dozers, you pay, you give a person a contract, he has no dozer, or even the Chinese didn't have. They have to bring those equipment into Zambia. A dozer arrives in Dar es Salaam. I'll give an example of one good dozer. It arrives in Dar es Salaam. One, to move it from Dar es Salaam to Zambia, you will pay not less than $100,000 just to moving it without anything done. So those are cost drivers. Once those things are done, you find that okay, maybe the pricing starts to go down, get down. And those are some of the things for me. I would rather say, okay, this might have not been done well, but it is right, it's done. Let's move to another positive thing and let's do it right. Like right now,
Okay.
people say, oh, the money has been done, but then the question becomes, but the question is just you have to encourage each other to say, this was done. Now we need to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4 things as we move forward in this investment. What is it that we're going to see? Our people, like the deep thinker said, how many people are going to be getting into suppliers, jobs, what, contractors, and stuff like that? Those are things that we start to focus on rather than focusing on, oh, the other guy said this. I tell you, we ignore them because they are politicians.
Well, let my remnant, let my remnant say something. Before it becomes
A
a
back and
Q&A.
forth situation.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mr. Remnant, we're talking about the new copper mine. It's actually, did I say 400? It's actually $600
Um,
million copper mine in
I
Mumbai.
think for me, I'll just stick with the positives.
Mm-hmm.
To say that, no, I think the mines certainly will be a good idea for Mumbai. As far as just criticizing without cause, um, yes, I think whereas that is good, but for sure, if there was any element of corruption, whether it's the previous regime or the current, I think that needs to be called out. Because for as long as that cancer exists, I don't really think meaningful progress is possible. Where corruption was involved, yes, I think that must be investigated. But as the brother said, where people have done well, let us at least quickly point that out as well and move together that way as a country.
Oh, you are such a fresh of breath air on this show today. So just to let's just add on to what Mr. Remnant has said. So this is a $600 million mine. Of course, it's expected they will employ about 2,500 people. They will also construct a 50 megawatts of solar power plant that will add on to the national grid. Now, for me, I'm only highlighting the positives out of this mine. Of course, the Chinese are involved. Um, and again, I think it's on this forum that we say, the Chinese are forever moving their goalposts. But I think with the law that the UPN government has put in place, that will check these investors. So hopefully that they will actually adhere to the laid down procedure, the labor laws of the country, the human rights law of the country, and the like. Right, Lady Sarah, I've said too much. What do you want to say on this new copper mine in your in Mumbai? Your comment. You've been too quiet over there. Okay, maybe she took a nap. Shall we proceed then to the next topic? Because today we have to go quickly. We have stuff to do. There are runs to be had on this show that we haven't had in a very long time. And all right, it's all developmental news today for a change. So shall we talk about the so this week we saw the Minister of Energy announcing an increase starting September the 1st to load shedding. That's going to go on for 17 hours. Oh my goodness, my people. Because of the low water levels in the country, the bodies that generate this power. And on the backdrop of that, we saw the president go to Mamba and break ground on this new power plant. Well, it's not really new, but it's an expansion of the Mamba power plant that's going to generate an additional 300 megawatts of core um, of power that's going to be also added into the national grid. Now, this power is not going to be ready until in 2026. I think that's what I meant to understand is going to happen. But they broke ground last week. And I mean, people, we are in deep doodles. I don't even know what to say. We are in deep doodles in as far as the deficit in electricity is concerned for not just our, personal use, but also commercial use. But Lucia, I know you love this topic too much.
You know, it's not about liking it, but it's I think it's about really presenting what's on the ground. Because
Mm-hmm.
for one, uh, I mean, Mamba, energy company or Mamba Coolers has been existing for a long time, and we were providing like 300 megawatts, the plant at itself, and obviously it wasn't at its full capacity because obviously they needed the expansion and everything, and they were not being paid for one. If they supply that electricity on the grid, they were not being paid fully, or they were only paid maybe partially. And we saw, when the current government came into power, they looked at it and said, look, why are we making this company, fail? Because Zesco owed apparently some money, to Mamba Colliery. So it was restraining them to do what they wanted to do as a business and as an entity. So this president, when he came in, he said, "Look, let's expand. Let's agree on one thing. Let's clear off the debt that is available, that's there, and then let's expand." Okay, and this was I think this was I think it was last year when he was talking about it. You know, and I followed him correctly, and he said, "Look, we need to expand Mamba Clories. Why do you have just one plant here? Why don't you have two plants?" Okay, and we'll find partners to finance this operation, and it has come into fruition. Right now, we're talking about an extra 300 megawatts. Now, these are because people are asking, because like you said, power right now is a very sensitive issue in the country. And already, after just that happened, they announced another increment in terms of load shedding. But my question is this: would it have been better if it was the previous government? What could have what would have they've done? I mean, what solutions would have brought up to the table? I mean, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, would top notch come with brilliant ideas. Because even if he was still in power, right, like today, would he have come up? Because these things would have still be happening. These things will still be happening whether the UPN is in power or whether the PF is in power. Because what happened is we don't have water. There's no rains. We don't have enough water because we rely on hydro is what draws the electricity.
Yeah.
So,
Can
anyway,
I
so would it have been, would it magically, or never PS, would it magic in snow share if you are still in power today? Yeah, because these things will still be happening.
Can I come in there?
Well, Chilufia, let me just, before our mommy come in on Deep Think and Mr. Matcha and Remnant, let me just put a caveat there that at the time when we had plenty of water in the Caribbean, at one point, Zambia was experiencing a 20-hour load shedding. Let's just put a caveat on that. Now, of course, we have issues with water. It's 17 hours, and then there are all these other measures that are being put in place. So anyway, on that note, I just wanted to put that caveat just for people as we discuss this topic to note what's been done and where we're going from and where we are coming from.
I need to
Mr.
address that caveat at the right time. Maybe after our colleagues have spoken about that.
Yes,
Yes, you're right.
yes.
You're right.
I just wanted to add it on there. Mr. Mommy, so go ahead. And then we'll
You
go
see,
with the beloved PS and Deep Thinker and Remnant in that order.
I'll first hammer. I'll hammer the head on the nail. Huh?
Hammer, comrade, hammer.
I'll hammer.
Hammer.
You've done well.
Mujate.
I'm just
When the previous government was in charge and that people things on top of things, there was load shedding, people were paying, they were grappling to pay those ZESCO bills. The previous government was busy employing cadres who were not working for ZESCO. That money was supposed to be used for that. There was no prudence with resources. God forbid they shouldn't have won, and it truly went that way. Because imagine if they had crossed over, how many cadres were going to be on the ZESCO bill and yet they are not working? One was even convicted the other times. The HH is doing the best of our power. We should appreciate him. There's no way a company like that company which is owned by ZESCO, instead of that money, whatever little, they could have paid that company that money, but they were employing ghost workers. UPND, I admonish the UPND government not to put in cadres and put them on the ZESCO payroll. Prudence with resources. That's my thing. When the resources are available for ZESCO, let them be very, 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 very prudent. I yield. I know Achanda will come in hard. I've hammered there. Well, that's why he's quiet.
No, he's coming in now, Mr. Kazia.
He can as well hammer.
You want me to hammer, like really hammer?
No problem. No problem.
Go ahead.
You see,
No,
number one,
problem.
you can blame the PF what you can say about the cadres which if they were there was a bad thing, and those cadres, if they got the money, why have we not gotten the money back if they didn't deserve the money to be there? That's number one. Then number two, the issue of Mukendi was not attributed to anything like weather. It was attributed to the lack of leadership. The load shedding was nothing to do with the weather, according to the UPND government. It was everything to do with leadership. The failure of leadership is what created what? Load shedding, not the climate. When Led Tutu Anguluve raised on these matters in Parliament, the response from the current government, it is not, when you fail to lead, you blame nature, you blame God. Yeah? Because you failed to lead. That was the same. Now, what has happened? The same nature has come back to buy it the same way it did the other time. This is why I tell you, these politicians are wrong in this matter. Because they don't sort out the problem. I'm going to say that right now. When you say no more the previous government, the Patriot Front created 3. The KGL project was done by the PF. It is tells you that was done by the PF. Front knew that the hydroelectric power station was never there. These are positive things that must be appreciated at least. Rather than to go and say, oh no, they employed the cadre. The cadre was just getting 2,000 kwacha there, considering the investment that was there. Yes, if the cadre, yeah.
Hold on.
I'm going
No.
to tell you.
I'm going to
I'm going to
interject
tell
here.
you that
They could
cadres.
have bought 2 poles. They could
Yes,
have bought 2 poles and
now
connected
cadres
the
are
home.
employed. Listen,
They would have connected the home. That was going to increase the revenue for ZESCO.
I never interrupted. You see,
Yes.
even now, cadres are employed. They are coming back. This time they're employed in the civil service. For example, and these are not like make my own making. They are self-confessed. They will come on air. Me, I am a cadre. I am not a civil servant. But drawing money from what? From the public service. They are there. You know them.
We don't know them. They have not been arrested.
No,
They have not been arrested.
They are protected in the same way those cadres are talking about. They are protected, isn't it?
Hama.
Just a correction, Bakazia. We just had what's that person's name? The one who just got sentenced for corruption.
Muchemwa.
Muchemwa it's on record. He collected 240,000 kwacha from ZESCO. So don't come up on here and say they're only getting 2,000 kwacha.
I have stood here. My position has not changed. Those people who do not deserve that money getting from ZESCO, they need to be taken back the money. They need to pay back the money. Why are they still free? Why should we allow such kind of anarchy if indeed it was there? Why have we not gotten that money? Because they don't deserve it. Much and you all know that the first thing that is written on the payslip, overpayment and underpayments are what? Supposed to be reported and be paid back. So for me, those people, if they were not supposed to be at ZESCO, they were getting money. Let's go get the money from them. Let's go get the money.
That's why they're being convicted and going to jail.
Yeah, I'm talking about getting the money that they got from ZESCO and take back the money to ZESCO. Because that money was illegally gotten, isn't it? If that be
correct.
Yes.
And this is what I'm saying. These guys that are come up on the radio, TV, saying that me, I'm not a civil servant, I'm a cadre. They will pay back as well when the time comes up. Because they are cadres.
Yes.
They are not supposed to be this.
Yeah. No one should be above the law.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. They are there, you know this. They've come here. I'm not a civil servant. I am a cadre. How do
they have not been known?
The taxpayers' money. The taxpayers' money are given to cadres. So those cadres that are getting money now, they should know the money they will pay back.
Yes.
For me, that is
there we are together. There we are together, 200%.
And those that are there now, they must be held to account when they leave office because they're being protected by the same office.
Yes.
I submit, Chair.
All right, deep thinker.
I think we really have a deep problem in Zambia, and we all already know. We're just reminding each other about this problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not concentrating on energy development and energy improvement.
Mm-hmm.
That is the
when a UPND person stands up, we look at PF and say they all didn't do anything. So we starting from here, we're moving forward. The PF comes back and said, you just don't want to recognize the things that we did. So we have spirals and spirals and spirals of successive governments blaming each other. In the process, development is lost in as far as the common person is involved. So we need to focus on development itself and communicate that development. Let the people themselves determine who is doing what kind of job for the people. Energy development is always a good thing, so we need to agree on that. Any kind of development, whether it's PF, UPND, NIP, or whoever is in power, we need to celebrate until we get to that point where we can celebrate development for Zambia and Zambians. We are always going to take 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
That's a deep thinker for you.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the issue we need to celebrate. And I
no
think
longer.
Kazia said it earlier. He said, when you say you have done A, B, C, D, that's a good thing. But then it negates the good things. You have taken the celebration out. So let's please celebrate whatever is contributing to the development of the country that we love the
And
most.
my small contribution, 1 minute contribution to what the deep thinker said. And you see, from my view, is that if we started to behave like that, we will be progressing, saying, okay, this is what our friends did. They ended here. Maybe their thinking capacity and everything ended here. So from here now, we move forward, going 1, 2, 3. Like the European says Zambia forward, isn't it? They never say Zambia backwards. I've never heard that slogan being said. So if Zambia is going forward, we say, okay, this is where our friends did. They had their own mistakes and their own errors. But then, learning from their errors, which we must not do, we are going to move forward to 1, 2, 3. We will not focus on the negativity that may come from the competing forces for the power, political office and power. But we shall focus on these good things and hammer on the good things going forward. If anyone wants to take us back into the bad thing or bad comments or bad experiences, we say no, we have moved on. Because then the neutral people that are not seeing the fighting on that, we tend to be more progressively thinking to say, okay, if the load shedding has gone to 17 hours, last time it was 20 hours, okay, yes, probably this might be a good 3 hours again. Okay, what else can we do to support them? What ZESCO is trying to think of? What other things can we bring to government forward thinking to say, okay, this and that and that. If you take care of this, the sky becomes the limit. But we drag ourselves into these political systems that at times just negate the progress that is being done in the country.
Okay.
Vakasia,
Okay.
your 1
I
minute
have
is
something.
over. No,
have
Mr.
something.
Macha, before you come in.
Very important. Very important.
No,
Very
no, no, no,
important.
no. I know it's
Connected.
only
Just connected to what Mr. Kazia was saying. I know you come in.
Wait, hold that thought. Let's bring in some. Hold that thought. Let's bring in somebody who hasn't said anything. Mr. Remnant.
It was the right time for this one.
No, bring in Mr. Remnant.
Okay.
He hasn't said anything on this. Let's be fair to others as well. Mr. Remnant, you want to contribute to the expansion of the Mamba power plant. Any comment on that before we go to Mr. Maja? Mr. Remnant? Okay. You have the floor, okay. Mr. Maja.
Yeah. Here, this question is directed to our resident PS, resident permanent secretary. You see, his complaints or his concerns are coming from a scenario where I see there are no handover notes from the new and the old. Does it really happen? Resident PS, is there any handover notes? Because we see, like at one school, I witnessed handover. They were even giving each other a date stamp. Checkbooks. So, comment on that, please. Our resident PS.
Well, Chair, that is a good question that Wamacha has asked. And probably this is one thing that we may need is a lesson going forward. When we were fired, some people had not even, yes, we were fired by the president. Some people had not even, we never got a letter. It was just Anthony was just standing there and saying, oh, the president has terminated the following people and read the list. There was no letters for at least a week. Now, the ministry where there was a proper handover, you will have seen less problems. I'll give, for example, my own ministry. I had the proper handover because I was season 07 who had the reports done every time. So I knew that government can change, government cannot change. So I had what was done for the last 5 years with a full report in terms of legislative changes, social security, national productivity, occupational safety and health, HR planning, research and development. I had all that, and I sat for the entire day briefing the current minister, saying, this is what we've done on this matter, this is what we've done on this matter, this is what we expect to be coming here, these are the trade unions, these are the leadership, this is where the cycle is, this is what we need to do not do ABC. So it was a do's and don'ts and a written report of everything that was done. But there were some of my friends who were actually in the office working. Later, just because you've been fired, he sees another person being sworn in. You have no idea that you've been fired. So all you do when that things happen, unless you have a big heart, for us that were season 07, other people are frustrated. They just took off everything, out, and it goes out. So now, okay, I guess I know, because now this is not the way the transition is changed. The minister, the permanent secretary, they need to be handed over and be taken into the things that have been done. This is why we find that certain things are research matter. A person goes in there to appoint a permanent secretary, if he doesn't even have a pathway to the things that I was doing. So he gets there, then he starts being trained now by the directors. And imagine that probably as they've seen him say something bad about the same people that he's supposed to work with. How does it happen? So the handover matter was not properly done in most government sectors. And most changes that are being done, there is no handover. So the institutional memories are gone.
Do we need to put that in the constitution?
What?
Do we need to put that in the constitution, like handover?
First of all, the constitution by law. Even before you go there, when I'm being fired, how do I get in? How do I sit in my house on a Friday evening, knowing that I'm going back to office on Monday and I've planned to do this, and then you are just told, not even by the press conference of the president at least. A presidential spokesman is the one who has to read your name that you've been fired. And therefore, and the euphoria that goes with the person being dismissed. Everybody's like, now that this criminal. And this is to even tell the people that are in offices right now. The Zambians are not very good when you lose power. They are not. They will pretend that they are with you right now. They will be all over you. The moment that announcement is done, you are on your own, like you never existed. The only thing that remains is your relationship that you have with the people that you work with. If it was a boss, a servant relationship, you are done. You can die the next day. So
I think we are digressing. The topic
it's important.
Yes, it may be, but we only have a few hours. Right now. Today I'm very
panacea.
I know.
It's a panacea to all these problems they're talking about. All these problems talking about are emanating from lack of continuity. Could
Mr.
this
Mwami,
be put in the constitution?
I understand.
The meeting,
I understand, Mr. Mata.
Okay, I understand.
We are limited to time. So as we speak, let's be conscious of time. Today we only have a 2-hour window. We are already 1 hour and 10 minutes in, and we have other topics to talk about, because we're going way off topic. The topic I had was member power expansion, and now we are talking about handovers of position. That's something we can talk in detail.
No, there was a permanent secretary for energy.
Yes.
Who are the new permanent secretary? Yes, those are the things that could have appeared in the handover notes.
Yeah,
that's why I was talking like that.
Yes, I hear you, but let's be conscious
Thank you.
as we speak.
Thank you.
All right, now shall we? Who hasn't spoken? Because I think for me, really, I'm not adding anything. Unless, if you want to say one more thing, because I know you're
No, no,
leaving us
no, no.
shortly.
Let's move ahead.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then let me just,
yeah.
you know.
Okay, let's move on. And my next topic at hand that I have here is whew, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Is it me? Oh, actually, where are topics? Ninja Luffy.
Ah, ah.
Mr.
Jaru
Morpheus,
namurufya amatopic. Mwarufya amatopic.
between Mr. Mwami and Mr. Kazia, that's what I'm saying. I got lost along the
The
Oh
one who is
my
closest to
God.
you.
Okay,
The one who is closest to you.
let's talk about
Oh
the
my,
most burning
no,
issue.
no.
The,
So,
the
right,
most burning issue,
Awe ni
and then
machanda
we talk
baiva
about the
inendi
solution.
kutali sana.
no, no, no.
Okay.
Let's talk about finally we had who ran away? You know, the other man left. Anyway,
Okay. The
let's
most burning
proceed.
issue
It's it's
about
a
Kariba.
mineral. It's the area of mineral exploration. I think we need. Let's tackle that quickly. For the first time in 6 years, government that this past week announced, finally, they're out there exploring our earth to figure out which mineral is where, what, how much. I think it's the greatest news Zambia can ever have in 6 years. Hopefully, by the time they are done, none of those minerals are going to disappear from the Zambia's earth. So anyway, let's start with you, Bachilufia, Mr. Kazia, Deep Thinker, Mr. Mama, in that order.
All right. A quick one. On this one, I can tell you for a fact that actually me myself, at one point, I had engaged some people in Australia, believe it or not, that had the technology to map out. And I was telling them the same thing, the same story. Like Zambia has not been mapped for the last 60 years in terms of minerals. Like the last time that Zambia was mapped and it was done in terms of, it wasn't even really like the way the modern world is. And the only very few people that had that information where all the mineral was one, it was the British protectorate and Kaunda, the later president, Kaunda. He had that information as well. They knew where all strategic minerals were. Okay. Now, I was talking to these individuals, and we set up a meeting, and we wanted to go in and map it out. Unfortunately, for our Zambians, we don't want to support each other, but that's a topic for another day. But this information actually is a very, very important information because one, we will now know where our minerals are sitting. Like, why would you have a country and you don't know where your minerals are? You have to know your wealth. It's more like you have got a bank account and you don't know how much money you have in it. You have to know what it is. Like, we have to know where copper is, where gold is, and other unexplored minerals are. Zambia is a wealth enriched in so many. I mean, you'll be shocked after this event ends. You'll be shocked to learn that Zambia will actually have more minerals than any other African country. I mean, we just haven't explored them. Now, how are we going to explore them? First of all, the information, we have to have the statistics, the data, so that we now know when an investor comes in this country, we say, okay, this is what we have, and this is where you can go and invest, but this is what we want. We now have a leverage, okay? We have now a leverage to, have a stake. The government should have a stake in each and every mining operation. All these new mines are going to come from now going forward. So it's a good thing, and I saw it. That they even brought those planes and stuff like that. They're going, and it's an official thing. So this is not a news. It's an official thing. It's been launched, and the mapping system is going to happen. It's happening right now as we're talking. They're mapping the country. So we're glad. At least me personally, I'm very happy because it's something that I've always been talking about. I think I talked about this like maybe 3 years ago, believe it or not. So now when we have that information, statistical data. Hey, let nobody cheat us. Let the next generation come and have something, and something to look at, other than just few people having that information. Because the few people that had information where the minerals are had, they're gone. They know where. And I don't know. That's my submission for now. Thank you.
Mr. Kazia, Resident PS. Kazia, are you fishing?
No, no, I'm not. Yeah, the issue about the survey of where our mineral resources are is a good move, but I would have loved a little bit more involvement of our security systems, our security wings to be part of this project, very, very active. Even if we get some foreign company to do it, but I would have loved our security wings to be part of this process. The challenge that we have is that it looks like it will be the Spanish that will be having all the geological information that we might be looking up for. I was a member of the mining advisory team when I was the principal labor officer for Lusaka province, which was in charge of mining licenses, mining permits and stuff like that, exploration and all those. What I see is that the foreigners have been very, very active. The foreign companies and the foreign investors have been very, very, very aggressive in pursuing our mineral wealth. And I think we have not been actively as a country been involved in terms of checking out where our minerals are and what needs to be done. Because who is going to have the first sight of these minerals? Obviously, it's the people that are doing the exploration. So I would have loved much more involvement in government, or at this point in time, I would really encourage government to look at how they can bring our security systems to a very, very high alert, such that as the information is being captured, immediately we are capturing the same information as well. Not to come and wait for reports, because once they find some precious mineral somewhere, it is a chance that they can, say, oh, we didn't find the road here, and then thereafter go back and start having the rights and start bribing our people, getting all the minerals that are very precious in our country. So I would just urge government at this point in time to actively heighten the security system to be part of this process. Otherwise, it's a good thing to know where our minerals, are, and what we have. It would be a good idea. I think I like it. I support the idea, but I would just want a little bit of more government involvement and security checks of the people that are going to do that.
Right. Actually, just to add on to that, I think our mines minister, Honorable Kabusa, has been on point there where he says, yes, they have contracted a foreign company, but our experts are going to be doing this alongside them. So I don't see how those,
I don't trust Kabusa. Sorry on that one. I don't.
I mean, he's the minister of mines, so why shouldn't we trust him?
Because he has told us things that are not true in the past.
Like what?
God turning into copper overnight. That for me is it was a write-off for me that this we need to. That's why we're talking about the heightened security interest, not really the Minister of Mines and Honorable Kabuto. It will not bring us anything.
But you haven't seen the composition of the people that are doing this.
No, the company itself, because I saw what was I'm speaking from the information that was published. The company, I saw the equipment that's supposed to be used, and when Jito was speaking, he was speaking only to the quality of the company that has been brought in. He was not speaking to the quality of the Zambian and probably more information around how that is structured. That's why I'm speaking, because maybe he had the chance to speak to other people about the composition. But at that point in time, when he was speaking about launching that, I was hoping to get some more information.
No, vacancy. Well, let me come in on this one. Let me just speak
Okay.
quickly on this one. It's already been established that the information that's going to be gathered, we have those mineral rights, and 100% Zambia will have that right.
That is not in question it's not in question from my side.
Okay, so
It's a process
what
that I'm talking about. Hmm?
the process?
Yeah,
Yeah, but the geology department is involved. So we have our
Everybody's
Zambian people
involved.
alongside. So I mean, I know you don't want to. I mean, you question Mr. Kabuswe's, honesty, but I believe if the geology department is involved, I mean, why can't we trust them? Because these are very own who are working
That's what
along.
I'm saying. I mean, we're not letting everything in the hands of the so-called investors or partners to come and map out and leave everything in their hands. No, that's not what it is. It's
yeah, I
strategically.
know what that is not what it may be, but the questions that I'm asking here, for instance, when the person was explaining the economic advisor to the president, he was the one speaking about it. He was speaking only to the greater extent on the company that has been brought in. He never talked about the Zambian agencies that are directly involved. And this is why, for me, I'm not saying that they are not there. I'm saying I would encourage the current government to look at heightening. If it is not heightened, if it is heightening, then what I'm saying doesn't matter, doesn't make sense because it's already taken care of. But if it is not, maybe it's something that they can consider.
Right. All right. Let's leave it at that. Deep thinker.
So, uh, first of all, you have to know yourself for people to respect you. So therefore, it's a really good idea that Zambia is exploring its own resources so that we know ourselves and where our resources are. And that way, we can also, in line with what Rakazia is saying, we can also uh, beef up our security to protect our resources.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because once those people come in and survey and tell us that this is here, this is here, this is here, if we don't heighten up our security wing, then we'll have some people illegally taking our minerals out of the country. And I'm not talking about Zambians because I really don't have a problem with Zambian taking resources and earn a living. Just try to do it legally. But we have a lot of things, resources that are leaving the country without Zambia and Zambians benefiting. I was just reading an article from Real Times. Is it a newspaper, Real Times? I don't know if it's fake news or not. These Chinese had bought a car which had some gold in it. And they're saying when they bought the car, it didn't have any gold, but it was found in the car. So we're losing a lot of money as a country because I don't know if we are securing our resources right, or if the security is involved in the misuse of resources. I don't know, but we really need to protect our resources, know where they are, and protect. Because if we don't know where they are, somebody knows, and they might be taking our resources without knowing. I yield.
Right. Mr. Mwami.
Yeah, you see, we're talking about this patient that has not gone for a body scan. Yeah, this patient has not gone for a full body scan. How do you tell the illness? You need the X-ray machine. It will pinpoint. It will give you the correct diagnosis. If it's this car, Bachanda, it will give you the error code. Yeah, ngamawika ko diagnostic machine. Yeah. Could you one second?
Yes.
Yeah,
We can
Mkwan.
hear you.
It will give you an error code, and you exactly know which area to go to without even wasting much time. Because we are seeing a situation where someone comes from outside the country, comes to buy about 2,000 hectares of land, which becomes too much. You don't know what is in those 2,000 hectares. But mwalishtisha. Hata mpokushita mining, no exploration stage. 4 years, they are still exploring. Valley send everything they wanted in their exploration stage. That's what they're just taking samples outside the country, rich samples, and we have remained net sungu mukanwa a yield.
Oh my God.
Madam Moderator.
Yes, deep thinker.
I think that ties up to what we are talking about. The security system needs to be top notch.
Yes.
Right. Top notch, yes. When you're paying enough. Yes, this is why I'm trying to avoid to go there. When you're talking about paying a police officer 4,000 kwacha and he sees gold worth millions. Oh, even I, people will sell my soul for that million. Just saying. Just saying, Makazia. 4,000 kwacha you're paying a police to man a field or land. That's worth.
Actually, the last time I checked, it wasn't even that much.
There you go. Yeah. Now you put that cop to man a piece of land worth millions.
We have not been fair with our security.
No, we have not.
We treat them like, and this is one of the things that, for me, hurts. When I was part of the restructuring process for the police, moving the prosecutors from the police to NPA, there was a huge transition of probably maybe 300% salary from what a person is getting as a police prosecutor to when it comes to NPA. So you find that the police are like, it's not right. It's not right. The way we have treated the police was like, one, they will stand in the sun for 50 kwacha, not an hour. 50 kwacha. That is what they are given, and you see like root money. And you see, the problem comes in when you want to speak on behalf of the police, what are you on the level that you want to create unity? So it's a problem. That's why the police are suffering. It's because we have not created a system that makes their welfare be taken care of and hold people accountable when they fail to look after their police welfare. We have not treated the police very well. I'm not even saying, I'm saying we, the Zambians, we have not treated the police very well. You are very right, Chair, when you say that. You're very right.
I say so because when I'm the problem. I'm actually the problem too, because when I was in Zambia in April, May, and I was driving somewhere. I think I was on British Road. It's that Addis Ababa, somewhere around there. I guess I missed a turn. I was not supposed to be in some lane. So anyway, the police, they stopped me. And then they came over and said, "Madam, where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm just going out this restaurant over here." So she said, "Do you know I will stop you?" I said, "No, I don't." She said, "Well, you were supposed to be on the outer lane, not the inside lane. So give me your driver's license." And at that time, I had forgotten my driver's license at home. So I said, "Well, to be honest, I don't even have a driver's license right now." So she said, go to that office over there." So I went there, and And I found two policemen sitting there and said, "Yeah, we know you did this." So anyway, you've got two choices here. We charge you $700, or give us 200. We let you go. So I looked at them. I said, "Are you kidding me? Okay, you charge me 700 kwacha. I go and pay to the police for a traffic infraction, or I pay you 200. Why how are you even going to give me that option?" So I just said, "Look, I don't even have that 200. So I only have 100. What is it gonna be? Because I know how to negotiate with policemen." So anyway, to cut the story short, they took the 100.
For something.
But Madam Chair,
Yes, deep thing.
so I don't know when I'm talking about the security wing,
Mhm.
I'm looking beyond the police.
Even the army, it's the same thing. Even Zambian, it's the same thing. These people are not paid enough. Just saying. Go ahead, Deep Thinker.
So if in that situation, then I don't see and I don't know why we wanted to publicize the uh, the idea of looking for our resources around the country that we cannot protect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Correct. I mean, that's a really very
We are shooting
defined
ourselves in the foot
precedent.
in that case.
Well, let's see how it goes. Let's see. I think
Because now the criminals are going to know where they are.
yes, and I can see the criminals paying top dollar to get
Correct.
information where these places are.
And the
Where
criminals, I mean, it includes politicians.
it includes you and I. Yes.
Imagine, imagine,
She has told us. No, she has told us her story of how she participated in the corruption. At least.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I'm not even ashamed to say. Yes.
Bateo. Twambe kuti bateo.
No, but I was contributing to somebody's
that's the
household.
sugar tender in her.
Yes. I agree. I totally. The shikatende in me came out. The Lugalo in me couldn't suppress the shikatende. So the shikatende
So,
came out.
so at some point, a conversation for another time. We need to
Yes.
brainstorm what needs to be done so that our resources are protected for our grandchildren.
And their grandchildren. Yes, hopefully somebody in the Ministry of Mines is listening in, and I will give Minister Kabuswe a benefit of doubt. And yes, we have doubters like Mr. Kazia. I mean, he can't help himself. So we understand Bakazia. And now,
Just one more. I'm sorry, but Madam Moderator,
go ahead.
is there somebody here who knows somebody from the Ministry of Mines that can join us at some point in the future? Because these are serious issues that need to be discussed.
Out here. Anybody, you offer yourselves. Looks like nobody. But I think Bachilufia. Bring your mining but in fact
bring Wakabutuapa.
Actually, you know what? I'll bring back Akosema. And I'll try to get hold of him. Why not?
Because Wakabutuapa told the nation God turned into copper in the night. It was very difficult for me. It has been very difficult.
And I don't care even if it's about Chiwamba Kanyama. This issue is serious because with this issue, if it's dealt with accordingly, Our hospitals can be top notch, our schools can be top notch, our social services, everything can be top notch.
Yes, and Botswana has given us that example. Correct. I totally agree with everybody. So yeah, we went towards bringing somebody from the mineral from I'm sorry from the mines ministry to talk to us more on this because we have more questions than answers. So yeah, we definitely will. We'll bring the minister himself or somebody, the PS there, try to talk to us on this. So shall we move on then? Oh, actually, Lady Sarah rejoined. But Lady Sarah, do you have any comment to the recent announcement that finally we are going to map our minerals? There's a company already doing that as we speak, so we know which mineral is where. Of course, we already know that there's gold in Kasempa, there's gold in my father's backyard in Shikatende, there's
Backyard?
lithium in
Are
my
you sure?
mother's, yeah, yes, in my mother's backyard in
Backyard?
Ugalo.
You are rich,
Yes,
sister.
yes. So, what do you
You
have
are
to say
rich.
about that?
No, we are just waiting to see how the thing will go on, and then our eyes are like, we are watching.
Yes, yeah, we
Yeah.
should all be watching. I mean, there's lithium in my mother's backyard in Igualo, so I can speak for
My sister, you must be rich.
I am rich. Don't just look at me. I'm rich. Gold in my father's backyard. Anyway, shall we move on to the next topic, which I'm very happy about, and Bakazia is going to be disappointed about, because he and I went toe to toe a few weeks ago, and
Someone is asking Sisi that Benemwetwa,
hey,
what is this program?
tell her, baby,
Yeah, this program is on Bantu TV, and we are here as Zambians, those in the diaspora and those in Zambia. We are just looking at the happenings in Zambia and how we can contribute positively.
perfect.
Yeah.
You have taught her rightly so. Okay, now shall we move on to my favorite topic of the week, which my literally saliva was coming out of my mouth as I was reading. And this is the court's news this week, this past week, were just captivating. To believe that, to think that you have a leader who goes in a church looking all humble, and we all bought the humble pie. He was elected into office. And then, when we were all not listening and looking, he's, advising his wife to go seek the advice of a witchcraft in terms of stolen money. And this case is no other than that case of the former First Lady, Esther Lungu. This is in question to the $400,000. And again, let me just put this on record that this case was brought about not by the New Dawn government. It was brought about by Mrs. Lungu's niece, who was kidnapped.
Sponsored.
Bakasia. Nobody's saying, nobody's saying that. Anyway, so the case was brought about by the niece who reported the former First Lady of kidnapping her over $400,000 that she was given for kidnapping. So this week we heard they consulted a witch doctor who took turns to explain to us on the stand about how the 2 million kwacha that she was paid by the niece was something to do with nurturing her biological clock because he wanted to have a child. Gentlemen, that was a mouthful. Forget about what Mr. Kazia has said.
They cannot
This
forget.
is
How do I
a
forget? How do you forget?
family. It's a family
You
matter. And then
can't forget.
let me just add something there. We also saw or we read Dali Solungu, who previously told the court that the properties that he got, the 69 cars, the land, the filling stations, the cash amounting to $5 million was all a gift from his father. When he was asked to prove in court, he couldn't. And to Mr. Kazia's questions, the court answered his question where he wanted to know the type of cars that the 69 were. According to the court, they said most of those vehicles were Kazia. I'm speaking to you now. They are luxurious vehicles amounting to 23 million kwacha.
23
There
million.
you have it. There you have it. Let's start with Mr. Mwani. Just marry the two.
Yeah.
Dali Solungu's issue and the witch doctor. Just
One is a thief whose case is in court.
yes.
Yeah. So one is a thief whose case is in court. Rich dad giving him all those things.
I didn't know.
The case is in court. We cannot comment. The case is in court. We can't comment.
I'm just commenting on the testimony. We can comment about the testimony because that's
the court is in the
reported.
case. The court is in the case. The court is in the case.
All right. We actually,
I haven't heard it properly. What are you saying about the witchcraft? The witch doctor?
No, we were just
this matter is in court.
No, even if it's in court, so many things are in court. We talk about them.
We can talk about the fact that we can talk about the irony by Sarah of having the first lady talking to a witch. What would you call them? A witch asking for 2 million kwacha.
For what?
As part of her $400,000 she gave her niece. That's Sarah.
If it Walanda Priva Morin,
they come out in public and telling us they're humble.
Listen, we are not condemning the first lady, Mr. Esther Lungu. Actually, Mr. Esther, Mrs. I'm sorry, Mrs. Esther Lungu. I think she even looks good now. I think she was abandoned. I think Lungu was not good to her. She never used to look very good. No. Let me say something. Let me talk. Okay. I know you are the backbone of PF and everything. Let me talk. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that this thing of I'm going to share 2 million from which how can you do such a thing as the first lady? Yeah.
There's even an audio recording. This is not hearsay.
Oh, mlenzi mina
audio
busy
bako.
na business yani.
Yari mukoti yakubare playing audio base. Bare pijana with
I
very
think I saw that. So what I'm trying to say is that Babu Tukabakazi. What I'm trying to say is that the first lady, first and foremost, if we are to look at what really she did, I don't see anything that she did positively for the country. If anything, I wish she could have maybe created something for the country here and there. I wish she did.
Vasera, let's break down transmission.
Well, that's a break before you. Listen, Rakazi, I'm breaking down for you.
We want some. Okay.
I can hear you loud and crystal clear. Anybody else who is breaking down Sarah?
It's only Rakazi. He doesn't want to listen to my voice. That's the problem. That is referred to this lady. Rakazia, to say the truth, it's not right. And I know you said that if into film coach but it's very shameful to come from our mother saying such a thing, doing such things. And these people, they should just know that even the president himself, the former president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, some people, the way they are behaving, I heard this Kamachao Dika Kondwani Banda insulting the president over useless things. Even saying, whatever. What are you talking about? You are in which place is he?
Turkey, I think he's in Turkey.
Turkey, yeah. You are there, that's why you're opening your mouth like that. If you're in Zambia, you cannot open your mouth like that, insulting other people, big people. He should stop. You don't do such things. And this president, the former president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, he has put it on record and in black and white, where he's saying that he's coming back to ukuchingirira family yakwe. You are not even a cousin to any one of them. You are not even related to Lungu, and you say fighting for me. Who are you? That is Edgar Chagwa Lungu is going to come and fight for you. Who are you? You are not even his cousin. He's saying he's coming to fight for his family. That's what he's saying. He cares about his family. That's why he used to give those checks to his children. So let's be careful, Zambians. This man doesn't mean well. Hatred will make him even collapse one day.
All right. Dipthink, do you have a comeback?
Yes, I do. The issue of the witch doctor, it has thrown me off. I can't even think right. but here's the thing, though. I don't condone stealing. I don't condone corruption. I don't condone none of those things. Lungu's family have implicated ECL. We know the wife. She probably did some work for Zambians. I don't know, but she had a lot of money somehow, from what I've seen, unless it's fake news. So now, if the family has implicated ECL, why is ECL still in the streets of Lusaka and Zambia? His own son is reported, fake or not, is that he can't account for the money that he has. There's no paper trail from the father to the son. So I'm not understanding the investigation wing, why we can't get these things straight. I'm really confused.
Well, Dipthinker, you have a valid point there. I think they're circling around him. That's the only thing I could say. They're really circling around him. Anyway, for me, it's the irony of telling us they are Christians and looking all humble in public. When doors are closed, they are consulting, witch doctors. I mean, witches. It's
What
just
Sarah was saying, I had to break down the transmission.
yes. You okay? He's back.
He said he didn't want to hear her.
Lakazia, every time I want you to be my friend. Every time you hear my voice, you want to break down. He's breaking down. Every time I speak, the man just breaks down.
But Sarah, I can hear you now, Papa. I check a break.
Sarah,
Yes,
Madam Moderator, and Sarah.
Yes.
you think.
I really, the moderator touched on the Christian issue.
Yes.
We really need to assess how Christian our Christians and Christian nation is in this instance. We really need to reassess our Christian values if we are going to go that route, because we have a lot of false prophets. Even the Sia one is active in our country.
Can you
All
believe
in the
that?
name of Christianity.
That man, that CR1, that one is a very stupid man, very
The moment,
stupid and very ignorant.
but you see,
You made him.
the entry point is how we look at Christianity ourselves as Zambians, because we have a lot of people from outside of the country that are coming to be bishops, pastors, and everything, and they are even involved in the politics of the
That
country.
Kamasia1 should be reported to Facebook so that he doesn't air any rubbish that is airing.
But even bishops in
That is
Nigeria,
your
they
hero.
speak about our country a lot.
But
So we need to reassess our
Why
Christian
doesn't
values.
he speak about Boko Haram?
he can't,
What
man.
you
Hello,
see?
Adishani Vani.
We
Eh,
made
na Sofia, my abuela.
Mwalimu
I don't
Panga
know.
Sia one.
Sia
You
one is
see,
nothing.
Sia one has been made. Look at this.
Wakazia,
Sia one
let me
is
just go
a
in quickly.
self-made. Sia
Just
Sia
going
one is a self-made. We have made him what he is. You see, nothing else about him. We have just, as the country, made Sia one as something. When
On
he
that
was
one,
asked,
I agree
you
with
remember,
you, Azia. I agree.
me,
I agree 100%. We have another copy of Sia1 in Tayari, Chilufia Tayari.
yes, you see, we
Same
made
Sia1.
stupidity. If when we go to Bangabantu to be stupid and president, here is how it happened. And this is something that has started and is being developing. Number one, there were groups of people who were insulting President H when he was in opposition. And we, the guys that were in people, we did not go after them. You understand? We did not give them, we never said anything. Sia1 was one of those who was on the side of the UPND attacking the PF. And nothing was done from the UPND to stop him. So these monsters that we create when it's convenient for us, they come to hit us and then they become popular for what they shouldn't be. I, for one, I never listened to Sia1. I just hear that Nala and I have refused to make him popular by even going to comment on his page. Nothing. Because, if we differ as Zambians ourselves, it must end as us ourselves as Zambians. Not another third party, because when the third party gets into there, they come and be confused and create chaos where it is not. Umuntu have a cheap psychology. See, I want just to do the cheap psychology of the things that he says. Hey, I made the HH. What can you see I want to do to HH? What can you see I want to make it wrong? He can't do any of that.
Imagine,
But
that's a boy.
people, but I'm going to blame it because we allow them and we give them a platform. No, this goes back even to our own boys, 20-year-old boys, 15-year-old boys. ayamba okutuuka president natwikala tule mutamba ati no, this is
Can you
okay.
imagine that?
But
Why are you insulting? Why can't you just speak? People listen to your views and everything. Why are you insulting? Why should you insult a big person like that? Mr. Hakainde to be insulted by that boy, Kablanda kind.
However, this issue, let me just step in real quick. I think again, Monin, here's the thing. Siawanu, even that young boy, that junkie living abroad, Banda, the Kondwani Banda boy, how does he have the audacity to insult a Republican president? And then you're in a foreign country. You're saying, I come from this country. And then you let to
Can you imagine?
Like, who are you? Okay? First of all, who are you? You're just a junkie living abroad.
Can you imagine?
And then Siawanu, even him is even worse. He's just what you call those people. I'm an political sympathizers. They just move where the wind is. To come and propagate and cause confusion. He just goes there and says whatever is in his head. If you're a prophet, prophet nowadays,
Overseer one, really?
Okay, let me
finish. Let me finish my point. Because I'm a prophet, never foolish. I'm a fake prophet. Okay? Fake prophet. Well, TV told me I'm a prophet. What are you prophesying over? Like, really? You're prophesying over if you're like Mozambique, but we're going to Nigeria.
Imagine, eh?
If you're in Nigeria, if you're
Boko Haram.
Talk about those things. First of all, talk about those things. Okay? It's more like that saying that who lives in a glass house, you know, you can throw stones to other people. So you're thinking that people won't look. People, I Zambia, a problem to have one. And then we don't even use common sense sometimes. Common sense. Mama. And I'll be shocked. Never see one.
It's the one who's coming and buying bundles. The one who's live. Yeah.
So my
Zambian one. Do you know the Zambian one? Chufetayali.
Sarah, my point was not to bring just to mention that, because when I talk to people in Zambia, they talk about CR1. But my point is that we need to reassess our Christian values. Because when we were growing up in Nueva Serra, walking with your mom, you could not insult an adult.
No.
Those are the values that I'm talking about. We, even in this group right now, we agree, regardless what political party we are affiliated with, we agree that some things that some of these Christians in Zambia are doing are not right.
Yeah.
So if we agree with that, we need to reassess how we are conducting our Christian values in Zambia. I'm not saying eradicate Christianity or religion. No, that's not what I'm saying. We just need to reevaluate our values so that they can be instilled even at a higher level. We hear insults. So generally we just need to reevaluate that. Otherwise, foreigners come in and then they see that there's a culture of insult and they take the insults to a whole another level. Because we've abandoned what we value the most, respect for the elders. I yield.
A deep thinker.
Yes,
a deep
ma'am.
thinker.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that can be an easy thing to do with our Zambian the generation? What do you call this generation which is insulting people like this?
But
have you ever heard anybody that was born in our generation open the mouth and insult people like that, even if something is wrong? No.
But
It's because of what we've done. We've done our children, we've put them, even our own children. A child is insulting the mother. So what can stop this child to insult another person who is not even their dad or their mother? Because our children, they can, when I say our children, I don't mean like my own children. Yes, they're all inclusive, but the generation that is there, when you talk, nishimwe, and what? Ufishe from lefwaya, abanabo, ubukote, ageism is all over in Zambia. Insults are all over. What are we going to do? Because we've destroyed this, and it will take another century or another, I don't know how many decades to change this scenario. Because if your mother will just look at you with an eye, you know what she means, right?
correct.
Just an eye, without
Correct.
even before Kushina, just an eye.
So
You know that this one, I'm wrong. But these children, when you look them with that eye, fishermen won't do it, right?
so here's the thing, Sarah. Here's the thing, Sarah. We as adults have modeled that kind of behavior
Yep.
around the children.
Yes.
We have modeled that. When Kaunda came out and called all these other opposition people stupid idiots and all that, that was in public domain. We were actually educating, schooling our children, which is us now, with that culture of openly. Mom and dad used to have fights, but I don't remember a fight at all. But I know they did. Because every morning, mom, when she's cooking breakfast, she'll be pacing back and forth, checking on us. But when she didn't, we knew there was a fight.
I like that.
Say that again,
Yeah.
Say
We
that
know there
again.
was a fight.
Say that again.
Sister
She'll be
Catherine,
pacing,
is
checking on us
that
and all that. But if she's cooking breakfast and it's on the table and mom is not there, we know something happened. So we as adults have created a culture of disrespect.
I definitely
and
agree
then,
with you, I do think
before you come
me,
in,
I have,
I don't
you
want to
know,
lose what I have on my mind before you come in.
okay, Mama.
I think also, what's the work of the embassies? What's the work of the foreign embassies, the Zambian embassies, in where they are? Because there's an embassy in Turkey, there's an embassy in America. They could fish out these people, put them down and sit them down and tell them never insult. If you have issues, talk, okay? Put your views on the table, but you should not insult the head of the state. It's not in our culture. This culture of insults should stop. And it should start from there. But if we let these children, these young people, because they're in foreign land and they're busy insulting the president, it's not going to look good, because our culture
Sarah,
doesn't allow young people insulting. Even if you are older, you cannot start insulting the head of state like that. So
In
the
the presence
embassies
of
should come
children.
in force and, put these people, sit them down to say, Iwe, because we have videos where they are insulted. What did you mean? What?
and that
Yes.
is exactly what, for me, that conversation we must do. But we must also not allow these kids to insult Edgar Lungu to that level as well. Where you have boys that are there in the political system, in probably party structure, just go up and insult. Because you see, whether you don't agree with it, whether you don't like, but you can't insult. Because if it becomes a continuation, we must not, like, because AH is in office, therefore we can't insult, we shouldn't insult. When it's out of the office, we start. You see,
It's true what you're saying, Ragazia.
yes,
It's
we
true.
must deal with them properly.
I concur with that, because in the same vein, there are some adults who remain nameless, who are out here, saying Nali Tumpaine, stuff like that.
Uchindi komwine.
Yes, we have adults in those. Mr. Mwami has this. Okay.
Bakalini.
Yes.
Inefo ngatwala mona paka tufungu chindi komwine chapwa. We don't go to the root causes and we don't uproot. Twasa mona pali higher level yakufu. Katulivika kama values yakufu. Wisha tumuntu yana ya pass yakufu. Ifule ya chindi kwa. If my HH is out SEO, it is not for me. It's not my age to start insulting him. Or if you insult HH, then go. We must
He
be able
peed
to
in the
find
well.
people that don't want that example. But
He peed in the well.
I remember very well 1991. We were the young youth, we were the youth that time when Kaunda was getting out of power at the time. Hey, what? You see, when you sit down and discover, oh my goodness, this culture, we need to have a nice root out. And the root out must be, if it is within the patriotic front, someone in South is represented, we must get upset. Anyway, we could have differences with him, but we will not allow you to insult him. And if you continue, we will deal with you. We don't want anyone to insult the current president, whether you agree with him or you don't. And we start to stubborn deal with them. Then you find that, okay, one part is done. And UPND must say, if there is a part structure, you insult Eddie Kalungu, we will deal with you. Then you will see people move back because there will be actions that are going to be taken on these kids that are insulting heads of state, ministers, and other things. We must be able to frown upon it. But the problem is that when it favors us, we don't do anything about it. When it doesn't favor us, we want to do something about it. This is what Siawan has been, where Siawan, you see that Siawan is thinking that he's someone important. It's because when this time, we must all frown upon it. Not a certain group trying to say that Siawan Nalan. Why should I quote Siawan? It's really serious. Am I serious to quote Siawan if Siawan was serious?
Bakazia.
Why?
Could you let's rewind, go back to 1984, in the CR1 coming and insulting Kaunda. Just visualize that.
Oh no. Uyo kutiba Basanjo can be informed.
You see, where did we lose it? Where? Because it was there, the respect was there. I don't know if it was fear or respect, but something was there. Where did we lose it?
Too much freedom.
You gotta
Too
find
much
the root
freedom.
cause of the problem.
Too much human rights.
Yeah, too much
No, when we
human
started
rights.
to accept
Shall we?
double standards. Listen to me, for me, it's when we started accepting double standards if it is okay for me and it's insulting the deep thinker, so long as it's not insulting me, it's okay. I cannot frown upon this person who is insulting the deep thinker because he's not his age and there's no room for that.
Double standards have been there for years, Bakazia. Even during Kaunda, he insulted even Chiluba when he was president.
Kaunda at the level, it is different. It's not even at the level of president. These are boys not even like peers. Your peer are deep thinkers, one you are born the same way and go like then you go to you don't even feel anything because it's your friend. But these are kids, children. They're the ones that stand up and say, want to castrate the head of state and to get something circumcised. And he's talking like that, and nobody frowns upon that. How?
PF is funding them.
All right. Provincial chairperson for Northwestern Province.
Shall we end the discussion? We are on
yes, ma'am.
our Mac and let's put a caveat on this for today that I'll give each one of you 1 minute to do your rant because we can't end the show without a rant.
And I'll start with the ranting.
Yes, Mr. Mwami, like we do every Sunday. You start the rant. Go ahead.
ECLO peed in the well. Wakasubira mugoti. That's why we are in these problems.
What's that?
Look at that language. We are just talking about the language. Look at that.
I'm not the owner. It's the friend who was saying it. So
Wakasubira mu
look at
mugodi,
where it's
what's
starting
that?
from.
Huh?
Oh, alisundira pachishima. You know, where is the place where you get clean water? Nomba muntu kuyasundira pachishima. Nomba mwala unamesha msango chani.
Oh, okay.
Wakasubira mujigala. Nambe wakasubira mujigala. Wakasubira mugodi.
Uh-huh.
Lero kyashuka nomba.
Alisundira pachishima.
Like, I want to make sure I have
But now it's Mr. Mommy's rant. Let him go
Yes.
ahead and finish his rant.
So what he's saying is that a well is a communal place where people get water, clean water. We are assured of clean water. Now, when someone urinates on that well, it should attract comments from everyone who is a concerned member. Whoever drinks water from that well must say something. You should not keep quiet. Otherwise, if you just keep quiet, you'll be drinking dirty water. And right now, we're drinking dirty water because someone urinated on that well. But under moon fix up. Means so sell here. Means so sell.
Babata, I need to be very clear with Mamata.
Means so sell here. Means so sell. Means so sell here.
What does it mean?
Okay then.
How does it help you and the other kids when they are listening? What does it mean? What does it mean?
So now we are speaking the same language.
Yes,
we are speaking the same language. That was from a kateka to a fellow kateka. So mwana hapa the problem.
Lekeni bapuishe bakazia lekeni bamashina lekeni bapuishe ranti ya kuna imo mwala ingi kiri kumuti
Aina mpwisha.
Okay.
Go ahead Bamachi. Okay.
Go ahead Rakazia. What's your rant?
Let me go last.
Okay, Lady Sarah, what's your rant for this week?
For now, I think we are in the morning mode. I just want to be in that mode. So my rant is to wish the family to our lady, the First Lady, Mrs. Maureen Kakubo Mwanawasa. So rest in peace. Thank you.
Brilliant. Deep think.
Okay, my rant connects to Lady Sarah. May the family find solace in God's words and deeds. In the African tradition, most of the difficult situations are discussed when you have like funerals like this. That's when elders meet and discuss things even beyond the funeral. I'm hoping and I'm praying that Dr. Mwanawasa is going to bring about a conversation between the current president and the former president, and to come to an understanding that they are the two states. We only have two people we can call presidents who have presided over Zambian affairs. I hope they are going to have some private meeting together so that they can agree on some things, so that the grass does not suffer because of the two of them publicly exchanging some things, which makes me sad and which makes other people not respect our elders per African tradition. So I'm hoping that some elderly people, non-partisan, will bring the two of them together to iron out whatever issues they have, and leave some things for public consumption. I mean, the private consumption as opposed to bringing them to the public. I yield.
Right. As in Tonga we say, help me out here. Either Mr. Mami or Mata. What do we say?
Jatakamana jakayosha.
Mata kuyumbana. What is that?
Mata kwala mwitabuli kuyumbana.
Explain it to Miss Akazia and Baser Nabachanda.
Wherever there are two interests, there always be conflict.
But
buttocks are of the same size. They cover the same bad parts. There's always conflict.
But alajumbana in private.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Not in the public.
All right. What's your rant? I mean, I was just trying to throw some stuff out there.
They question in private. You are crazy. I like you guys. You really make my day.
In private.
Now, publicly. Let's go privately.
Yeah, you see, that's the beauty about the deep thinker. It's always that yes, but it's private. And I also recall the same thing that the deep thinker. My rant has always been that as long as we don't have ourselves, we don't have the respect for our leadership, no one will ever respect them, and especially at our level and age, if we are the ones that propel the disrespect for leadership, our children will never respect our leaders and will always be in these moments where they feel like when you insult harder, the better you are recognized. And some of them just insult so that they can push their numbers up on social media. But when we start to frown upon them,
is it true?
It's something that we must be able to deal with. And I think it's important that we start to move into more positive vibe than negative vibe.
I think so. If you are like on the other side, let's be positive. That is our country. We cannot be
I never say bad things
because you like this other person. If HH is wrong, we say he's on that one.
No, we move on. But also, we also help him to say, when this is wrong, this is what we feel can be done on this matter. So
and he's just human,
Yeah, he's just human. And for me now, this is now my biggest rant. My biggest rant is that the people that don't want to tell the president when he's making mistakes are the worst enemies of his government.
Exactly.
When they keep quiet when something is wrong and they don't go in private to tell him, boss, this is not right, and the people are not reacting to this very well, it's affecting people negative. They are the worst enemies of the president.
It all points to corruption, Wakazia.
Exactly.
Because we know if I say this in any we know.
But you said that to have honest, to tell him the truth. Say, my boss, people that surround him and start to sugarcoat things that are wrong are the worst enemy. And they flip at the first instance. The moment he's going to do something, there are the people that will flip immediately. Because they don't mean well for the president when they can't take him when it's wrong. They say, what you tell the president?
We're gonna question.
All right. You. All right. Okay. All right.
All right.
You just gotta love the forum.
What's your run for today, Bachelufia? Okay. He's not hearing us. Anyway,
I can come in. The president's salary is 53,000 kwacha.
Now you're opening up another Pandora.
You are opening up another discussion.
Yeah.
No, it's a rant.
That's
that is not right.
You are like us, you are bringing in something else now.
Oh, no, it's a rant. It's just a rant.
Oh, okay.
It's just a rant.
You have already had the rant, matter.
Food for thought.
Okay, then let me go into my rant. And I was prepping myself. Are you people seeing what I'm wearing here? You see what I'm wearing here, people?
Emirates.
Sayupi attire.
Ah,
Emirates.
anyway, if you've been living under the rock and you
Yeah,
don't know this, but Arsenal beat Wolves yesterday now.
they beat
Open
who?
up for the 20.
Who did they beat?
Deep thinker, we were watching the game together. Let's not go there now.
Who
We were watching the game together, deep thinker. So let's not go there. Yeah, you know. So anyway,
Who did they
Arsenal
win?
season is
Thank you, Magazi.
back.
Who did they win?
Thank you,
Anyway,
Magazi.
Which team? Where is that team from?
gentlemen and ladies, we are going to close the show. It's been wonderful. And I just want to say, each one of you, I really am so grateful for making the show what it is every Sunday. And until next week, shall we say,
Congratulations, Arsenal.
Adios.
keep the,
Abianto.
keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Adios. Au revoir. Abianto.
What's that?
We are done.
Abianto. See you soon. Au revoir.
Oh.
Bye bye. That's
We are
French.
so
Yeah.
done. Right
Is that
now.
Mwami?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Happy Sunday, people. And I just want to let you know that here in Seattle, I'll be doing a presentation on financial literacy with SM Teamwork, our senior marketing director. So those who are interested, if you have people here, let them come to Holiday Inn in Everett, Seattle.
Madam
You
Sarah,
And I
Okay.
just also want to give a notice as well. I
Uh-huh.
have been nominated to chair the recruitment of physicians committee here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, through the Chamber of Commerce. I will be chairing a meeting that might bring doctors into Canada. So that sounds like a good idea. We will have a conversation. So I'll
Oh,
be leading a
yeah.
team, the Ministry of Health and the Chamber of Commerce.
That's what we're talking about.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, both of
Thank
you.
you.
That's
Hey,
what we
guys,
are
wish
all
me
about.
well. I'll be the host.
Oh,
yeah,
Very
so
Wow.
good.
Lady Sarah,
Yes.
Sarah, let's compare notes. Say this on literacy, yeah?
Financial literacy.
Oh yeah. Let's compare notes. Have
Mhm.
something. Let's compare notes. I don't know how we can compare notes. I don't have a pen with me here. Hey, do you have somewhere
Hey,
you can write?
it's
Do you have
my
somewhere you can
number.
write? You have somewhere you can write now. I'm not in a
Okay,
position to write.
let me help you out. I will text you.
Okay, let me
Lady
write
Sarah's
someone.
number.
+2.
I will text each one of you's numbers.
Yes, I
Okay,
think
All right.
that's good.
people can steal your information. You're on
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes. So I'll text you his number. You guys can do a WhatsApp.
Thank you, my
call.
sister.
You know,
It's
I'm
Okay,
out.
okay.
I'm
Even
out
if
here.
this Kozia is my friend now.
Yes.
Today only.
Today only. Okay. Next week, people, keep the faith.
Even
Oh
next
my
week,